Now, from the Action 4 studios, Sports Director Clay Williams and Joel Bowling bring you the best in Valley High School football from the week past and for the week ahead. Highlights, analysis, and predictions from all across the Valley. It's time for Sunday Sports Extra.
It is time for Sunday Sports Extra. I want to thank you for joining us on this Sunday, and joining me, as always, it's Action 4 Sports reporter Joe Bowling, and our special guest this week, it is Armando Garza from the Valley Morning Star. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Clay. Appreciate it.
All right, let's go ahead and get started with what Armando's, his beat is 32-3A, along with all the rest of them. And man, did we have a big game in 32-3A this past week. Port Isabel and Rio Hondo. It's always great when these two teams get together, and on Friday night it was no different. It was a very close game until Port Isabel started pulling away in the second half. Isaiah Martinez there, finds his receiver. That's Michael Curry in for the touchdown. And then it's Juan Aguilera in for the run, and Port Isabel pulls away. They get the big win, but this game was marred by a big fight that ended the game prematurely. You see the picture there of what was going on out there, and afterwards, Coach Monty Stumbaugh said it all started on social media, and it's not something he enjoys.
Right, it's a game, and you play hard and you have fun. And that extracurricular, there's no part for it in this game. And we're not going to do that at Port Isabel. As long as I'm here, we ain't going to do that. And they know better. And it's all this, but I'm very proud of our kids. They needed this big time.
So like Coach Stump says, it's all a bunch of this. And unfortunately, it's all happening online. A lot of this happens on Facebook. A lot of it happened since the Rio Hondo scouting party to the Hidalgo Port Isabel game. Mondo, can a coach keep his kids from talking smack on social media in this day and age?
It's hard. The kids have more opportunities to interact with the other schools, and that's what happened here. They started with that Hidalgo deal, and it riled up the Tarpons. I mean, you can tell they were fired up all week long. They were talking about it, how we're going to pay you back, and that's what happened.
It's really incredible when you think about how much more interaction there is than just like even 5 years ago, Joe. All these kids now know each other. They follow each other on Twitter. They find each other on Facebook, and it can really jumpstart some of these rivalries.
Yeah, the media used to get accused of it all the time with the bulletin board material. We just have to sit back and watch it now. We can let the buttons be pushed by other people, and instantaneous. That's the thing. It's a 1 second later, and it's out to everybody. And this one lit the fire. Took a half to do it, but boy, once the explosion occurred, welcome Port Isabel. We've been waiting to see this team anyway all year.
That's right, Armando. You see them celebrating with the gold ball there as they have clinched at least a share of the title. Is this the Port Isabel team we've been wanting to see all year long?
Absolutely. I mean, they're as healthy as they've been all year. They were clicking. They had that extra motivation. Look out in the playoffs. This is a team to be reckoned with for sure. Another
team to be reckoned with, definitely the Hidalgo Pirates, after what they were able to do against Progresso. I mean, yes, Progresso is, they haven't gotten a win in district, but what Shea Patterson was able to do this past Friday, we had some unbelievable numbers. 593 yards and 6 touchdowns for the freshman. My gosh, we got another 3 years of this after this year, Armando. I mean, how much better can this kid get, and what does he do to Hidalgo going into the playoffs?
I don't know how much better he can get, and he's got one of the best coaching him up in Scott Ford. So he just looks the part. He's a tall kid. He takes ownership of the offense. He's directing people where to go. He knows what he's doing. If he gets hot, they're going to want to win this game Friday. I mean, he can by himself direct the team to a win, and that's how good he is. That's how special he is.
That's what we've been expecting from him for a while.
Well, he's been talked about since 7th grade as the big coming quarterback to the Valley. But the thing that I look at is his passes make receivers a lot better. He throws the ball in a position where a high school kid can't help but catch the thing, and so you don't even need these big-time quality receivers. He makes them big-time receivers, and so the next 3 years, anybody that lines up in that receiver spot has a chance to be a great player just by catching passes right there on the money.
Now, we mentioned Hidalgo in the playoffs. They're not in yet. Let's take a look right here as Port Isabel is in. Meanwhile, Hidalgo and La Feria and Rio Hondo. Here's what Rio Hondo needs. Rio Hondo needs a win and an Hidalgo loss. La Feria is already in, but for Rio Hondo to get in, they need La Feria to beat Hidalgo and then Rio Hondo to win this weekend as well. And let's just talk about this. How likely is that? La Feria, not as much to play for. Hidalgo playing for their lives. Let's pick the game, Armando.
Well, because of that, I have to go with Hidalgo. You know, this is it. It's a play-in game for them. Not to say La Feria is not going to come out. I mean, they want to share that title too, you know, and kudos to Oscar Salinas and his staff for getting back to the playoffs for the first time in 4 years. And it's going to be a great one, but I think Hidalgo's got a slight edge because of that motivation.
Yeah, I think Hidalgo's going to win. I can't believe we're not picking real Hondo to get in there, and we'll have to talk about them needing some help. But Hidalgo, I think, is just too tough right now and clicking on all cylinders.
Yeah, and of course, Rio Hondo losing Juan Puga a couple of weeks ago to a season-ending injury didn't help. But yeah, I've got Hidalgo beating La Feria this week and getting in, and I've got it being Port Isabel, Hidalgo, and La Feria into the playoffs. Now, meanwhile, who will those teams play once they get to the playoffs? Well, Kingsville got it done the other night at Lyford, and they win their first district title. And what is it, Mondo? 23 years, something ridiculous.
Yeah,
like
something
that.
out of this world. Yeah.
But now that sets up the big Willacy County Cotton Bowl. Lyford, Raymondville, they're both in the playoffs. They're both 2-1, but this one is huge for seeding. The loser's going to have to take on Port Isabel most likely. Armando, how do you see the Willacy County Cotton Bowl coming out in 2012?
You know, Lyford had a good first half. They were up by 3 on a good Kingsville team. Things they shot themselves in the foot in the second half. I don't think Jaime Infanta lets them play that way again in this game. I think they're going to come out motivated. They want that momentum going into the playoffs. I got to go with Lyford.
How about you, Joe?
I think this has the capabilities of being a fast-paced, high-octane, a lot of points on the board, and I think Lyford likes that style and may come out on the edge with that.
Raymondville's got an extra week to get ready for Lyford. Man, I don't like it, but I'm going to go with Lyford as well. I'm not going to be shocked if Raymondville comes away with a win with a week. This is going to be a good, close game, and we're going to talk about some more good, close games coming up when we come back on Sunday Sports Extra. The Mission Eagles taking it to Jesus Reyes and PSJ Southwest. Now they've got a title game on the line with Mercedes, and Ed Calchelsa under their new interim head coach taking on Valley View, and we'll talk about this game coming up.